The Quest for Diamond. Jack lived with his grandfather after he lost his parent. In the village where they lived together, Jack was all Anderson has. They were very poor. Their primary means of survival is fishing. Anderson has taught Jack major fishing skills. He was still very young when his grandfather has been taking him to the sea for fishing. He was good in all he does. He is very brave and hardworking, and already knows how to swim and do fishing normally. Jack grew up to become a very brave young man. As his father grew old, one day Jack was really interested in knowing his life story, how he came to existence and where he grew, and how he became only son of an old man. The question he is asking the old man Mr. Anderson was because friends from the neighborhood has insulted him that he is a bastard. This was so hard on him, so he decided to ask Grandpa how his existence came about. Grandpa said it's been long that he has been expecting the question from him, that truly he has come up to age to know his whereabout and his origin, but the time is far spent. The story is too lengthy. Go to bed. I will tell you all you want to hear tomorrow morning. Throughout the whole night Jack couldn't sleep. He was so worried, thinking, when will the daylight be out for him to hear his life story? Finally it's morning. Immediately when the cork crown he rushed and called Grandpa. Grandpa said it's too early. He went back to sleep again. After 30 minutes he came back again. Grandpa said he should go and come back again. After 1 hour he came back again, and Grandpa was up already. He asked Jack to come and sit down, and the story begins. My name is Anderson, your father's name is Hillary, and your mother's name is Judith. They grew up in this part of the country. There was once a great man that lived in our environs. He is a captain, he has wealth and was very honored among his counterpart. Everyone likes him. He has a lot of servant, soldiers and wives. Everyone was interested to know the source of his wealth, including your father. The great man I have been talking about is Mr. Stax Johnson. Everyone in the environs was so interested in knowing Mr. Johnson's source of wealth, but everyone in the environs knew he usually traveled to an island that is at the east part of the sea. They all lived backing the sea, so one day your father was ready to trace what the great man usually went to do in the eastern part of the sea. While going with his little boat your mother followed him, while I alone was left in the village. When they went they left you with me. They were there for about 5 to 7 days. At the end of the 8 days, your mother came back bleeding, having injury all over her body. She was almost dying. Immediately I ran toward the sea and helped her down from the canoe. She couldn't say a word. I helped her to the hut and gave him a hot water to drink and to kill the cold. While she was still lying on the floor, she gave me a map. The map was designed with a blood of which I believe it's her blood. Alongside she gave me 3 small stone, that is very heavy. I don't know what it is, but I will show them to you. Jack asked what latter happened to my mother. The old man said immediately your mother delivered the information. She died and I buried her under a tree. So the old man stood up and was walking toward a big tree, planted behind their house. When he got there, he bent down beside the tree and dig a bit and brought out a box containing some stuff inside. Jack was surprised, thinking what could be inside the box. The old man opened the box and brought out the tree stone and the map, and he gave them to Jack. Jack took them from him, and they went back to the hut. That night old man died, and Jack was left alone in the village without friend. After he was done burying the old man, they took off his bag and set off for the city. Jack has never gone out of the village before, but he knew there is a ship that usually come to the village to buy farm produce once in a year. So that year he has set up his things and was waiting patiently till the period will come. Finally the period Jack has been waiting for finally came. He was so happy. Quickly he sold all his belongings and he dressed up and set for the journey. All he has was his 3 stones, his jacket and the map, and some amount of money with him. They set off for the journey. They were to travel for about 3 days on the sea before they get to their destination. One night, while he was still in the ship, he brought out his stone and was playing with it. He never knew what it was. While playing with one of the captain's officials saw the stone Jack was playing with. He knew what it was. He felt Jack will not be able to beat him. He forcefully took the stone from Jack. Jack tried to take it back, but the guy refused. They began to fight. They fight so hard that the captain came to the scene, is asked what was wrong. Then Jack explained what transpired between them. So the captain asked for the stone. When he was given the stone he was so surprised because it was a diamond. Immediately he took Jack up and asked his boys to give him food and cloth. They bathed him, and he ate a very delicious meal. Immediately the captain asked him how and where did he get the stone from. He said his father gave. The captain asked again, where did your father get it from? He said his father gave him. He went further to ask where did his father get it from. He said his father gave him. When the captain realizes Jack was already playing with his intelligence, he withdrew from Jack and left. He took the stone from him. the captain gave him some money as well. After 2 days they landed, and he went into the city. Jack secured an apartment and started living his dreamed life. He was wealthy and handsome. From the money the captain gave him, Ash began to spend lavishly. The money was exhausted. He went and brought the other diamond and sold it again. In due season he spent the cash. He brought out the last diamond and sold it. He managed himself for some month. Since he is not working and he is buying drinks for friends, sleeping with women, the cash was also exhausted. He became very broke. He has nothing left to sell, so he went to the map given to him by the grandpa, and was going through the map. He couldn't understand anything from the map, so he got up and traced the captain that brought him to the city. When he has finally seen him, he explained the map to him, telling him the map can lead us to where that stone was gotten from. The captain was so happy, thinking once they can get some diamond from the place they will remain rich forever. So captain took some other men and the geologist and geographer along while Jack followed along. They took a lot of food and began to journey. They journey for 12 days. When they get to the middle of the sea, they saw an island. The island just appeared, i.e. they never saw it from afar. From the reading of the map, it reads directly to the island they saw, so they moved close to the island. When they got to the island, they got down from their ship, and they anchored it. The captain and his boys got down from the ship, and went into the cave inside the island. When he entered he saw a lot of treasures. Oh my god, the treasures was much. Immediately he ordered his boys to start moving those treasure from the cave out to the ship. Jack tried to oppose the captain that there is protocol to follow and other for them not to perish in the island, as he continues to stop them from moving the treasure to the ship. The captain was so angry, and he ordered Jack to be tied to the ship, while the other were still bringing treasures to the ship continuously. When the ship was fully loaded, the captain ordered his boys to set the remaining treasures ablaze. While they start setting it ablaze, the island began to sink into the sea. Gradually it sank. As it was sinking they were calling Jack for help. He couldn't help them because he was tied on the ship. They all sank into the sea. Few minutes later the cave bounced back to the surface of the earth. Jack was still tied on the ship. He couldn't free himself. Few minutes later Jack fell asleep. While sleeping he felt a touch on his body. When he looked up, it was his mum. Seeing her, he recognized her. Even for the fact that he has not seen her before, he hugged her and kissed her. Her mum set him loose and asked him to go, that her spirit will protect him throughout his journey on sea. When Jack wake up from his dream he realizes that he was free. Immediately he got into the ship and left. He journeyed for some days of the sea before he got to the city, sold his treasures and became very wealthy. The villager made him their king, and he got married to a beautiful damsel.